Hi, welcome to Hack City, USA. This is how not to do things. Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to build this Firebird kit that I got off of eBay. And I know I always get questions like, what brand of kit is it? Where did it come from? It come from eBay. Search Firebird kit on eBay. So I'm just gonna do a voiceover here on this one. So I'm gonna take a look at the kit here real quick. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this. I had a couple of ideas, and I'm still not quite sure yet, just because of how it turned out. There's something I don't like about it. I'll just give you the spoiler. I don't like the neck on it. It's like a strat neck. It's weird. But, it came with all the same parts you would expect from a kit. Cheap Asian parts. And we're just going to put it together and see what we get. So we're going to glue the neck here. See how it turns out. A little bit more glue. Clamping it down. Cleaning up all the squeeze out. Add another clamp. So a lot of this is going to be the staining, because I think the color turned out really nice. And we're just using RIT dye on this mahogany, which I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But it turned out pretty good, but I had to keep working it to get what I wanted out of it. And even then I wasn't sure what to expect, how it would turn out. But that's just yellow I'm using there. Go around the edges for do a little bit of a burst finish here. And I'm just going to keep going over until I get what I want out of it, or at least get what I'm cool with out of it. Watched a lot of stain videos, but I'm clearly not an expert on it. This is definitely not a how-to. This is just a watch me and watch as I learn myself. But we're basically going along and as I do the outside, then I'm going back to the inside and I'm trying to bring the stain out. I'm not trying to drag the darker back in. And I couldn't tell you how many coats there were, but there was a lot. I kept working on it. Now I'm going around the outside with the brown. The red didn't do much at all. And the brown honestly wasn't quite strong enough. You'll see here in a little bit I'm going to start using some black. And the black's not a RIT dye. It's I think it's that Angelus leather dye, whatever it is. It's leather dye. I'm just trying to make a burst the way I had it pictured in my head. I almost just painted it, but I was trying to stay with budget on this one. So you can see me trying to work a little burst into the headstock. I mean, you've seen the picture at the front of the video. You've seen how it turned out. You keep working on the brown a little bit on the edges. Also try to do this in stages so that it would dry a little bit before I'd flip it over. A lot of camera editing here, really. Well, not a lot. I just didn't put everything in. we're still working the brown. Still trying to go to the edges. I got stain on the binding on the fretboard like a million times. I scraped it off quite a few times. Here I am getting back to the yellow to kind of work the yellow back out. Magic's not really happening yet other than the buildup of the color. I think in the end it all turned out pretty good, actually. But, you know, as always, let me know in the comments what you would have done different. It's hard to, you know, I don't know. I really like the way it turned out, so it's hard to say I did it wrong. Maybe I could have done it easier or quicker or whatever, but I always like reading the comments, so leave them if you got them. A little modification here because I didn't want the whole giant pick guard on there. I think they're a little bit too much. One of the things I was honestly considering was just painting the thing and filling up the holes, but I didn't. So here's our black leather die. I believe it is Angelus brand. And I was a little hesitant to do this because I really didn't want to go. That black dye is really strong, so I really didn't want to go too hard on this, but also did the fretboard. I have another video about staining your fretboard with the black dye. It's pretty entertaining if you haven't seen it. I definitely did not get like a perfect even line around it, but I think it's fine. I think it turned out fine, actually. Just keep watching. Also, notice the bottle of black dye that was just up there in the upper corner because it gets spilled here in a minute. But it's starting to look pretty good. You can see I spilled dye everywhere. That's okay. We go back over with yellow. I don't think I put any other colors on it other than yellow after this. Trying to work in the edges so there's not like a hard edge around it. So there we go. I think I've went back over it once or twice again. It's still drying. I think I still go over it again, but it's still wet here. We've got some bad camera focus going on. Yes, the edges aren't perfect, but kind of works itself out in the end. And there's the spill. I just spilled over half the bottle. It was super cool. It ruined my rubber mats I keep on the bench. Pretty entertaining. I put the whatever you call that styrofoam bag is. I put it down just to protect it. I ended up having to take it off. But that's we're getting close to the end here. You see that little dot down at the end? I'll come back to it. And that dot as well. That's from spilling the dye. It was a good one. Pissed off dude right here. But it's fine, there's still some in the bottle. I still got some left. I've used it a couple times. I'll just buy some more. That dye is definitely a higher quality than the RIT dye. So next up, the final finish, we're going to use shellac. I chose amber shellac. I've never used it before. I read a lot about it, and I really like the way it turned out, but I definitely need some more practice and experience with it. Everything I read said small light coats, make yourself a little dabber or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Just small light coats. It dries quick because it's alcohol. I bought the can of it, but since it turned out so well, the next time I'll actually buy like the shellac flakes and mix it up myself. It did turn out pretty thick. I didn't get it as smooth as I wanted. I started with light coats and eventually was just kind of putting it on pretty heavy towards the end. And it kind of looks like a piece of furniture Farmer Bob finished. Kind of a thick coat on there, and it's pretty shiny. But I mean, that's me. I guess I'm Farmer Bob. Or I graduated from Farmer Bob School of Finishing, but I like it. I like the way it turned out. I like the way it turned out a lot. And that shellac is actually nice. It seems like it really like rings out really well, whereas like a polyurethane like encapsulates the guitar. This really like seems like it's letting the wood breathe and the instruments sing better, if you believe in all that. So I would recommend shellac for, you know, a wood grain, wood stain finish for sure. But it seems to be a bit of a learning curve. This is just the first coat. I put a couple of days worth of coats on it eventually. Don't mind my chair squeaking. And I didn't really record all of that, or I didn't include it in the video. I just added, you know, I'll just show you this first coat here. So here in a second, let's check out, and you can see, there you go. So you can see what I'm talking about. It's on there pretty thick. It's not smooth. It's got that Farmer Bob look. It's like Farmer Bob refurnished Grandma's table. And I'm not really going to show much of the build here. I mean, you know, it's a kit guitar. You've put them together. You know what the parts are. Holes weren't drilled very well. This mini humbuckers I'm not impressed with at all. But, you know, they're Asian parts. You know, you're not even supposed to put them on there. You're supposed to get rid of them. And there's not a lot of aftermarket options for mini humbuckers. There's a couple. But I wanted to put it together and just see how it played before I really seen where I was going to go with it afterwards. You know, if I put it together and it played like it has a junky Strat neck and, you know, I didn't like that, then I wasn't going to do much with it. And that's exactly what it does. But it sounds okay. It plays okay. I was really going for the metal Firebird. That was going to be this project, but project kind of guided itself in its own direction. But I may come back to that. Pickups are they're not very microphonic at all, but they squeal like crazy with high gain. Low gain, they're okay. back pick guard, the back control plate cover didn't fit. I had to tighten that up a little bit with or trim that up a little bit with the grinder wheel. You can see we got a logo on there. I think it looks great. It looks amazing. I'm pretty proud of this one. Pretty proud of it. But there's that neck. That neck is horrible. The neck ruins the whole guitar. But it looks fabulous. If it's nothing more than a wall hanger, I'm fine with it. It looks great hanging on the wall. I've got some abalone mother of pearl, some kind of imitation sheets I got off of Amazon or something. I stuck those over the truss rod cover and the little piece of the pick guard on there. However, the mistake I made is that I forgot that stuff's pretty transparent. So you can see the pick guard was white and the truss rod cover was black. But hey, let's hear how it sounds.